light breeze right now coming out of the south or perhaps the southwest, and that should not have much of a factor on this ball game this evening, but makes the temperatures and the weather conditions really delightful, and once again a great night for high school football here in central Wisconsin. We're going to have that national anthem with the Columbus High School Band in just a few moments. Right now, let's take a timeout and pause for this message.
Members of the WDLB Sportscasters Club include Valley Sanitation of Marshfield, Recycle Today, The Valley Way, Valley Sanitation at 501 South Hume Avenue, Marshfield. Call 387-3101. Bauer & Find Office Equipment, your local office equipment dealer with 40 years in the business and 10 factory-trained service technicians to serve you. Bauer & Find Office Equipment at 606 East 3rd Street, Marshfield. And Rigel Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning. For installation of septic systems and pumps, pump repair, and drain and sewer cleaning, visit the showroom in Marshfield or call them at 387-3411. 24-hour emergency service is available. Rigel Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning of Marshfield.
Please make sure you stay with us at halftime tonight, because we will indeed have that Little Caesars Pizza halftime trivia question. Your chance to win a medium pizza from Little Caesars Pizza in Marshfield. And I guarantee you, folks, it's a tough one this evening. This will be a real brain teaser out there tonight. So that's at halftime, the Little Caesars Pizza halftime trivia contest. This matchup between the Dons and the Cardinals this evening, the 41st in the history of this series, which dates back to 1957. The Dons have won 27, Pacelli has won 12, and there has been one tie. Columbus has won 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two schools, dating back to the 1990 season. One game in that span, which Pacelli won. I know a lot of you Columbus fans recall the state tournament game in 1991, when it appeared the Dons were on their way back to the state championship game, and Pacelli beat them here at Beell Stadium by a score of 21-7. But aside from that, the Dons have won this matchup 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two schools. A lot of those ball games have been close ones, some great contests in that stretch, and we expect another great ball game tonight. And now, Mr. Tom Zimmerman and the Columbus High School Band and our national anthem. And Beck and Mike Scheuer, who are now lined up in the center of the field, one behind the other. The Cardinals have kept the ball away from Scheuer so far this evening. He has not returned a kick yet this evening. And the Dons would like to have the ball in his hands. Sullivan kicking off. Pacelli leading Columbus by 2 scores as we start the second half of football. The kick is away. It's a high end-over-end kick, and it's Beck on the 6. Up the near sideline, the 15, across the 20, across the 25-yard line, and pushed back around the 27. So that's where the Dons will begin play. It's 1st and 10 for Columbus. And again, the Dons will put the ball in play from their own 27-yard line. Dons shutouts in the first half, while the Pacelli Cardinals drove the field twice for 2 scores, and Pacelli leads 13-0.
This will be a very important possession for the Dons, I feel, Gene, because they've got to establish something to get back in this game.
Wing to the near side, split backfield on 1st down. And here's a counter play. Scott Cook crosses the 30, gets out to about the 33, maybe 34-yard line. Scott Cook runs for about 7. They'll mark him down on the 34. 2nd and 3 for the Dons. Matt Mino comes in the ball game with a new play from Coach Cole, replacing Brian McCormick at right end. Aaron Rasmussen, the fullback. Cook, the wing on the near side. Ryan Beck is the halfback for the Dons on 2nd and 3. Split backfield. Scheuer rolls far side. He'll run himself, but won't get far. He is run down from behind around the 35-yard line. Mike may have gained 1 on that carry. 3rd and 2 coming up now for the Dons at their own 35. McCormick right back in the ball game, and Mino will leave. Lay shuttling in from head coach Walt Kroll, standing on the sidelines. Cook lines up as the wing on the far side. Rasmussen and Beck split behind Scheuer. Mike comes near side on the roll. He'll run himself. He has the 1st down as he powers his way out to the 39. Mike Scheuer getting behind some big Columbus linemen, getting outside. Kevin Sullivan makes the tackle, but a 1st down for Columbus at their own 39.
10 carries by Scheuer, 41 yards.
And he is the Dons' leading ball carrier not only this season, but in this ball game. 1st and 10 for Columbus at their own 39. We're early in the 3rd period, and the Dons trail Pacelli 13-0. Cook, the wing on the near side, split backfield, and Scheuer hand straight ahead to a Beck, and nothing there. There's that quick hitter to the halfback off the left side, which has been a successful play for the Dons this year. In fact, was very successful a week ago against La Crosse Logan when Beck rushed for 68 yards, but the Dons have not opted to try that play very often this evening, and no gain on that carry by Ryan Beck. 2nd and 10 for Columbus at their own 39-yard line. Cook comes wide to the near side. Rasmussen, the only setback behind Scheuer. And Mike drops back, wants to pass. He's being rushed. He gets hit in the backfield and sacked again. The 3rd time tonight that Mike Scheuer has been sacked. He goes down back at the 31-yard line and loses 8. 3 sacks on Mike Scheuer tonight. And that's been a big part of Pacelli's defense in this ball game. And the Dons now faced with 3rd and about 17. Joe Backus comes in, replacing Ryan Beck. And Mike Scheuer may be forced to throw the football here. So far tonight, Mike is 3 of 6. He has 3 receivers on the far side, and Scheuer tries the quarterback draw. Runs across the 35 and gets pushed back right there. Scheuer gained 4. And now the Dons in a 4th down play. It's 4th and 13. Kozak back in double safety. Good snap, and the kick by Dean away, and he launches one. A great kick by Andy Dean. Rolls inside the 15-yard line, and Morozic gets away, and the ball downed on the 12. There's a 53-yard punt by Andy Dean, and that will turn around the field position. So the Dons do not score on their first possession of the second half, but they pin the Cardinals deep in their own territory. It's 1st and 10 for Pacelli at their 12-yard line. 7:57 remaining, third period, and Columbus trails Pacelli 13-0.
Well, now it'll be up to the Columbus defense to hold this field position.
Now we'll see how the Dons play this as the junior quarterback, Jesse Pfluger, leads out the Cardinals. High backfield behind him on first down, a pitch play. Ruda gets outside and dives across the 15-yard line out to about the 17. Adam Ruda, the ball carrier. They'll give him 6 to the 18-yard line, and Ed Ruda has been the big offensive weapon for Pacelli tonight.
8 carries, 74 yards. Their next leading ball carrier, Sullivan, with 11 carries for just 26 yards.
And now 2nd and 4 for the Cardinals at their own 18-yard line. The Dons' long conference win streak in jeopardy this evening. Columbus has won 27 consecutive conference ball games dating back to the first game of 1990. That's in jeopardy tonight. 2nd down, and Pfluger hands off to his tailback going through the line, and that's Brolowski out to about the 25-yard line, and a first down for Pacelli. 7 yards for Brolowski on one of his rare carries, and it's 1st and 10 for Pacelli at their own 25, and the Cardinals come out moving the football well once again. 6 minutes and 50 seconds remaining, third period. Pacelli on top, 13-0. Rasmussen out, and Andy Dean back in the ball game at linebacker. High backfield, Pfluger looks to throw, comes near side, complete to Morozic. Mino hits him right there, gets some help from Steve Berger and Hendler and Conradi. And Morozic goes down around the 32-yard line. That pass play will gain 7. Quick wide receiver screen to Morozic. It's 2nd and 3 for the Cardinals at their own 32, and they've moved from their 12 to their 32 in just 3 plays.
That pass, the first attempted by Pacelli since the first quarter, and that one interception.
Yeah, that's right. That pickoff by Andy Dean. Wing far side on 2nd and 3. Pfluger on the inside handoff gives the ball to Ruda, and he gets the ball out to about the 35. He is close to a first down. Ball is marked right on the 35-yard line, and that is a first down for Pacelli. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals at their own 35, and once again, Pacelli moving the football. 5:50 remaining, third period, and Pacelli on top, 13-0.
That's the 11th first down of the game by Pacelli. Columbus has just 6.
Right. The Dons offense has been shut down tonight. Wing far side, eye backfield behind Pfluger. And he'll pitch the ball back to Ruda, trying to get outside, gets hit by Dean, sidesteps that tackle, and cuts upfield for a gain of 3. Ruda knocked down around the 38-yard line, and stopped there by Joe Backus. 3-yard gain for Ruda. 2nd and 7 for Pacelli at their own 38-yard line. Cardinals offensive backs, especially Ruda, with some good quickness. They're attacking the flanks very well. And that's where a lot of Ruda's offensive yardage has come tonight.
I think almost every yard has been off his own right side.
Here's Adam Morozic out wide to the near side. Eye backfield on 2nd and 7. Pfluger drops back to throw, comes near side for Morozic, and he drops the ball at the 45. Matt Mino on him defensively. Pfluger threw the ball a bit too high, and Morozic couldn't bring it in. 3rd and 7 now for Pacelli at their own 38-yard lines. The Dons need a stop here and need to force that punt to get the ball back. Columbus fans have been very supportive of the Dons tonight, urging on the Dons and making an effort to get back in this ball game. Ruda and Morozic both come wide to the near side on 3rd and 7. Ruda now goes through in motion. And Pfluger on the draw gives to Sullivan. He's going nowhere. Daryl Conradi makes the initial hit, then gets some help from Mike Seelan, and Sullivan loses one. Ball spotted back on the 37. It's 4th and 8. And Pacelli apparently forced a punt. And Adam Mrozek will kick to Backus, Scheuer, and Mino. And again, the Cardinals have kicked away from Scheuer all evening long. Let's see what they do here. Good snap, and Mrozek punting, just barely got it away. A high kick. Scheuer on the 29 calls for a fair catch. Strong rush by Daryl Conradi. He almost got in there and blocked that kick. Exactly 4 minutes remaining in the third period, and Columbus trails Pacelli 13-0. And the Dons need to get going and move that football. Once again, Mike Scheuer leads out the Dons. Scott Cook comes way wide to the near side. One man behind Scheuer. Mike back to pass. Fires across the middle, and the ball's knocked down. Incomplete. Brian McCormick, the intended receiver. Nick Brolowski knocked the ball away. 2nd and 10 for Columbus at their own 29-yard line. Don's offense has been stymied tonight. Backus back in. Ryan Beck is leaving. The Pacelli defenders have played very well on their side of the football. Cook and Dean, the wideouts on either side. Backus and Rasmussen in the backfield. And Scheuer, quarterback draw, shakes a tackle, crosses the 30, and fights his way to near the 35-yard line. Dons have run that play with some success tonight. And that has been a pretty consistent ground gainer for the Dons, and that time it gains 5. 3rd and 5 coming up for Columbus at their own 34-yard line. And Ryan Beck back in for Joe Backus. And we'll see what play develops here, what Coach Kroll calls. Cook wide near side, Dean the wide out on the far side. Split backfield behind Scheuer. Quick hitter straight ahead. Rasmussen, the fullback, carries and gets the first down with a nice second effort. It looked like Aaron might be stopped short of the first down, but he made an extra dive and brought the ball just across the 40. 6 yards on that run by Rasmussen. A first down for Columbus at their own 40-yard line.
And that was Rasmussen's first carry of the night.
Boy, hard to believe that. 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining, third period. Dons trail 13-0. Aaron Rasmussen has rushed for 432 yards this year, had 69 yards against Logan a week ago, but not getting many carries this evening. Dean flanked to the far side, wing on the near side. And here's that handoff to Cook. He skakes a tackle, gets across the 40 and gains about 2. That play was kind of slow to develop for Columbus, and Scott Cook was never able to get going on that wingback counter. And he's marked down just shy of the 42-yard line. About 1 yard for Scott. It's 2nd and 9. Ryan Beck back in, and Joe Backus will leave. Dons have not lost a CWCC football game in the 1990s. Their last loss in the conference was the final game of the 89 season against Pacelli in Stevens Point. Beck wide to the near side, and Scheuer back to throw the football with time across the middle, hits Beck, and a lot of running room. Across the 50, the Pacelli 45, and a first down, knocked down at the Cardinal 43-yard line. 16 yards on the little pass across the middle to Ryan Beck, and a first down for Columbus at the Pacelli 43-yard line. Ryan Beck with 2 catches for 22 yards so far this evening. That is his career best. First and 10 Dons at the Pacelli 43.
He was wide open coming across the middle there, and just a nice little pass to him, and another first down for the Dons, their 8th of the game.
Scott Cook flanked to the near side, and Scheuer again will put the ball in the air. He's being rushed. He gets hit. He gets sacked again. He finally throws the ball away. He did get it away to Rasmussen, and Aaron gains about 2 yards, but they may mark Scheuer down. Let's see how they rule that. Scheuer was about to go down, but using his strength, Ryan Van der Elzen couldn't pull him down, and Scheuer finally, as he was going down, flipped the ball to Rasmussen, who gained about 1 yard on a short run across the middle. So a pass play for 1 yard to Aaron Rasmussen. 2nd and 9 for the Dons at the Pacelli 42. Wing to the far side, and Scheuer again to throw the football. Looks across the middle, hits Rasmussen, tries to get outside, and he does. 35, down the sideline, 25, 20, 15-yard line, and gets hung up by about 3 Pacelli defenders and dropped there. A big gain for the Dons, and Aaron Rasmussen with a big run and a big pass play in this drive, trying to give the Columbus Dons new life. They'll mark Aaron down right on the 15-yard line. That pass play gains 27. 1st and 10 for Columbus at the Pacelli 15. We're in the final minute of the 3rd quarter, and the Dons trail Pacelli 13-0. Backus back in for Beck in the Columbus backfield. Backus and Rasmussen line up behind Scheuer. Cook the wing on the near side, and Scheuer drops the snap. There's a pileup at the line of scrimmage. And apparently the Dons have recovered. It is Columbus football. Scheuer himself fell on the ball at the 16, so that play loses 1. 2nd and 11 for the Dons at the Pacelli 16. That may have been the final play of this period. The clock winding down, 10 seconds remaining in the quarter. And the Dons in no hurry to snap the ball again. So after 3 periods here at Beell Stadium, our score is Pacelli. Wait a minute here. Now they just stopped the clock with 1 second remaining when the officials noticed that a Columbus player has a helmet problem, so an official took an official's timeout. So play not out as of yet. And now the clock will be restarted, and that will end the 3rd quarter here at Beell Stadium. Our score, Pacelli 13 and Columbus nothing, and we'll have 4th quarter action following these messages.
At Marshfield Insurance, their customers are number 1. Outstanding professional service, as well as the best insurance value at a fair price. Right the first time. So when your furnace gives you problems, call House of Heating Marshfield, because for quality products and service, must be a Lennox.
Time running out on the Columbus Dons. They trail 13-0 as we go to the 4th quarter.
Columbus outgained Pacelli that period 82 yards to 25. The 3-period
here at Beell Stadium. Cook lines up as the wing on the far side, the right side. Rasmussen and Beck split behind Scheuer. Mike hands to Cook on the counter. No, he's throwing far sideline for McCormick, and just off of Brian's fingertips, incomplete. Well, Mike Scheuer had us all fooled as he faked the handoff to Cook on the counter, but instead threw the ball in the end zone to Brian McCormick, and just off Brian's fingertips at the goal line, incomplete. It's 3rd and 11 for Columbus at the Pacelli 16-yard line. Rasmussen out, and Conradi back in to play fullback for the Dons.
Scheuer now 3 of 5 in the second half for 45 yards.
Beck and Conradi in the backfield, wing on the far side. Scheuer back to pass, fires across the middle. The ball knocked down and intercepted. It was deflected by Brolowski and intercepted by Ken Kershevsky. A pass interception by Pacelli. Ken Kershevsky picks it off. The 6th interception thrown by Scheuer this year. And that stops the Columbus drive at the Pacelli 9-yard line. A 10-play drive stalls out, and Pacelli takes over deep in their own territory early in the 4th quarter. Pacelli leading 13-0. And the Cardinals have the ball back. And once again, they're led out by quarterback Jesse Pfluger. On 1st down, he will hand off to his second man through, Adam Ruda, who climbs out to about the 13-yard line. And he's stopped there by the Columbus defenders. Well, there's a very bitter pill for the Columbus Dons. A deflected pass interception by Kershevsky. And that stops the Columbus drive inside the Pacelli 10-yard line. And now the situation really tight for the Columbus Dons. With a win this evening, the Dons will win their 5th consecutive outright conference championship and their 28th straight conference game, but those marks are slipping away from the Dons as Pacelli continues to lead. On second down, a handoff to the fullback is Sullivan straight ahead for virtually no gain, maybe one, out to the 14-yard line. Not much running room there for Kevin Sullivan. He's knocked down primarily by Seubert and Conradi. 3rd and 5 now for Pacelli at their own 14-yard line. The Dons need the ball back. In fact, they really could use a turnover. They have forced one this evening, a pass interception earlier this evening by Andy Dean. Right now, the Cardinals appear to be content to keep the ball on the ground and let that clock run, but they may throw here on 3rd and 5. Mrozek goes out wide to the far side. Pfluger will pass to the far sideline, and a pass interference call is coming on Matt Mino as Pfluger threw the ball poorly by Mrozek, but Mino, reaching for the football, hit Mrozek as the ball went by. And we will have pass interference on the Columbus defense. So there's a major penalty against the Dons at a very inopportune time. And 15 yards will be marked off, and Pacelli will now have the football near the Dons' 30-yard line.
3rd penalty of the night against the Dons for a total of 35 yards.
It's 1st and 10 for Pacelli at their own 29. 10:07 remaining in regulation, and Pacelli leads 13-0. Orlowski and Mrozek both come out wide to the near side. And Pfluger on the draw, hands to Sullivan, coming across the 30 out to about the 32, and a flag goes down again. And we're going to have a late hit on the Dons. Sullivan knocked down by Scheuer and Beck, and then Conradi came over and got a late hit in with the helmet, I believe. And another 15-yarder marked off against Columbus. And this will bring the ball out across the 40 to the 48-yard line. So on 2 penalties, Pacelli has moved the ball from the 14 to the 48. 1st and 10 Cardinals once again, less than 10 minutes remaining in regulation. And Columbus trailing 13-0. Things don't look good right here for the Columbus Dons. Mrozek, the wing on the near side, split backfield behind Pfluger. He will turn and hand off to Ruda on the counter. He crosses the 50 and gains about 4 yards, taken down at the Columbus 48-yard line. Well, the Dons defense must make the big stand right here. Things don't look good for Columbus. And now a turnover, a takeaway of some sort. Very imperative for Columbus as time winds down. 2nd and 6 for Pacelli at the Columbus 48. Wing left formation. Here's a pitch play, and Sullivan getting outside, but only for about a yard. Caught from behind and dragged down by Seelan and Matt Mino. And they'll mark Sullivan down just shy of the 46. Dons want that ball back. They're now faced with 3rd and about 4. Dons still need 2 scores as they trail by 13. Pacelli taking their time, letting that clock run down. We have 8:30 remaining in regulation. Adam Ruda back in the ball game. He's a very dangerous ball carrier. He's had a big night tonight. He and Sullivan line up in the backfield. And some offensive and defensive line movement. And the Cardinals jumping around. They apparently drew off the Columbus Dons. They drew Columbus offside, and that will give Pacelli a 1st down. Pfluger must have done something with his voice on the count to draw off the Dons, and that gives the Cardinals a 1st down at the Columbus 41-yard line. 8 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in regulation, and Pacelli leading 13-0. 3 very big defensive penalties against the Dons in this Pacelli series. Wing right formation for the Cardinals. And Pfluger hands off to Brolowski. He gets stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that carry by Nick Brolowski.
That's 4 first downs that Pacelli has gotten on as a result of Don's penalties tonight. Don's been penalized 5 times for 55 yards.
And now 2nd and 10 for Pacelli at the Columbus 41, and that clock keeps ticking away. We're down to 7:35. Each of these teams will be invited to postseason play. The Dons hoping, however, for a win tonight for an outright conference championship, but it may not be theirs. Wing left formation. Here's a pitch play. Ruda coming near side with blockers. Steams across the 35 down to about the 33-yard line. He's tackled there by Scheuer and Conradi, but Ruda gains 8 on that run. This drive started with a pass interception, giving Pacelli the ball on their own 9, and now they've run off 7 plays and used some strong running and 3 Columbus defensive penalties to bring the ball to the Dons' 33-yard line.
Ruda now with 13 carries for 96 yards.
3rd and 7 for Pacelli. 3rd and 3, rather, for Pacelli at the Columbus 33. Pfluger hands off Sullivan, a big hole straight ahead, has the first down as he dives down to the 26-yard line. Sullivan for 7, and the Cardinals keep possession. 1st and 10 for Pacelli at the Columbus 26. 6:30 remaining in regulation, and Pacelli on top 13-0. Not much has worked for Columbus in this ball game tonight. Split Pfluger on the counter, gives to Ruda. He gets a few yards off the left side. Dives down to about the 22. Cardinals grinding it out on the ground. They come into this ball game averaging 155 rushing yards per game. The Dons allowing 85, but clearly Pacelli has had the upper hand in that ground game this evening. 2nd and 7 for Pacelli at the Columbus 23-yard line with 5:30 remaining in regulation. Wing left in a split backfield for the Cardinals, and Pfluger pitches it to Sullivan. Getting outside, he skips down to about the 20-yard line. Pulled down from behind by Seelan. Cardinals really, Ed, have not been victimized by penalties at all tonight, have they?
They just had 1 penalty for 15 yards.
They now have the football on the Columbus 20, and they're faced with 3rd and 4. With less than 5 minutes left in regulation. And the Cardinals have taken over 5 minutes off the clock with this drive. Wing right formation, I backfield behind Pfluger. Morozek goes in motion. And here's a pitch play coming near side. This is Brolowski, and he won't get the first down. Berger and Conradi cut him down around the 18. 2 yards for Brolowski, and now a decision for Pacelli coach Bob Rochek. It's 4th and about 2 for the Cardinals. Will they go for it? Will they send in Farnsworth for a field goal try? He has made 3 field goals this year, the longest being 33 yards. Ruda is out, and let's see how the Cardinals play it. They'll go for it on 4th and 2 at the Columbus 18. Wing right formation, and here's a handoff straight ahead, and they didn't get there. Sullivan straight ahead, ran right into Mike Seelan, and Mike stopped him at the 17-yard line. So a 12-play Pacelli drive stalls out. The Dons have the ball back with 3:54 remaining in regulation, trailing 13-0. Columbus has the football on their own 17-yard line. The Dons have to drive the length of the field and score, and then get the ball back and score again. Dons fans on their feet. Scheuer coming near side on the run, won't get very far. He stopped behind the line of scrimmage, may have lost one on that rollout. Loss of one for Scheuer. 2nd and 11 for Columbus at their own 16. Darryl Conradi comes in with a new play. And that clock continues to move. We're down to 3:15. You're listening to Columbus Dons football on AM 1450 WDLB Marshfield. Wing formation. And Scheuer back to pass with time. Fires deep down the near sideline for Andy Dean and well into the Dons bench, incomplete. Mike Scheuer threw that one by everybody.
Scheuer now 6 of 13 for 65 yards.
Tough day for Mike Scheuer. He's run the ball quite a bit this evening. Has had little success in passing the football. Joe Back is in for Ryan Beck, and the Dons really need to convert. They're looking at 3rd and 12 at their own 16-yard line. Cook is the wing on the far side, split backfield. Scheuer hands off on the counter play, and Scott Cook runs out to about the 20-yard line. Stopped there, but about 8 yards short of the first down. So the Dons now faced with 4th and 8 at their own 20.
It looks like they're going to try for it.
Well, they don't have much. Our score is Pacelli 13, Columbus 7, and we'll come back.
Are comfortable and others can be downright cold. Plan now for your fuel needs so you can avoid the headaches during the heating season. Call Weiler Fuels where you'll find prompt efficiency with their Keep Fill service. Weiler Fuels also offers farm gas delivery, 24-hour burner service, along with bulk motor oil. When you call Weiler Fuels, be ready to receive fast service and reliable products. Call Weiler Fuels at 384-4752. Plan now to avoid the headaches down the road. Call Weiler Fuels in Marshfield.
Just 19 seconds remaining in regulation. Columbus now trailing 13-7. and Pacelli will take a timeout. The Cardinals obviously fear the onside kick by the Dons in this instance, so they wish to discuss that possibility. Pacelli will take their first timeout of the second half with 19 seconds remaining in regulation, and Pacelli on top, 13-7. We'll come back with more football following this message.
When you depend on a truck for your living, the less downtime for repairs and maintenance, the better. At B&H Automotive Group in Marshfield, their heavy truck servicing center is open 24 hours a day, so you can get back on the road as soon as possible. They work on all makes and models of heavy-duty trucks, and they offer 24-hour record service, too. The B&H Truck Parts Department has $1.5 million in parts in stock for all brands of trucks, and their heavy truck body shop will keep your truck looking like new. Bring your truck to B&H Automotive Group on South Central Avenue, Marshfield.
Scott Cook getting ready to kick off for Columbus. It is likely the Dons will attempt an onside kick here to get the ball back. Just 19 seconds to play in regulation, and the Dons trail by 6. And Pacelli has most of their kick return unit lined up between the 40 and the 50-yard lines. The Dons put Andy Dean, Mike Scheuer, Matt Mino, Brian McCormick on the kick unit. They're lined up along the near side. Cook approaches the football, squibs it to the near side. The ball is loose, picked up by Conradi, running down the near sideline. He's at the 15-yard line, hauled out of bounds inside the 50. Daryl Conradi picked up the football in full stride, and Columbus has the football. Man, oh man. Well, we could have quite a finish to this one. It's Don's football at the Pacelli 14-yard line. Conradi picked up the onside kick in full stride, got a great bounce, and now, believe it or not, with 15 seconds remaining in regulation, the Dons have a chance to win it. We have a timeout on the field, charged to Pacelli, their second timeout, with 15 seconds remaining in regulation, and Pacelli leading 13-7, and we will be back in just a moment.
Little Courtney was never satisfied.
Want your pony, Courtney?
We got rid of your brother, Courtney.
It's just not enough.
Then she tried Little Caesar's new Italian sausage pizza loaded with sausage and peppers.
It's good. She likes it. That paper plate?
Well, more for us.
Yeah.
Little Caesar's Pleasers. More meats, more cheese, more toppings. Mix and match any two for $9.98 or get one for $5.99.
Pizza.
Available at Little Caesar's carry-out locations only.
Well, here's the situation after Daryl Conradi recovered the onside kick in full stride and ran the ball down the near sideline to the Pacelli 14-yard line. Columbus has 15 seconds to get the tying score. 15 seconds remaining in regulation. Intercepted by Sullivan. Pacelli gets the ball back with 9 seconds remaining. And just when it looked like the Dons may steal one, the Pacelli defense comes through with a big play. Kevin Sullivan's pass interception dashes the Dons' hopes. The second interception picked off by the Pacelli defenders in this ball game, and that should wrap it up as Pacelli has the ball on the 20-yard line with 9 seconds remaining.
Blends are just the ticket in Pendleton Sport Coats. Choose from soft, luxurious fabrics in colors that'll set you apart from the rest. Looking for a dark and dressy suit? St. Clair Page has the 365 collection from Palm Beach in single or double-breasted styles, woven in a wrinkle-resistant year-round wool blend. These suits come in solids, stripes, and patterns. Suits suited to you from where else but St. Clair Page, downtown Marshfield.
So the Pacelli Cardinals need to take a snap or two. The Dons do have one timeout remaining. They can stop the clock once. Why, it looked like the Dons would produce an unbelievable finish when Conradi grabbed that onside kick in full stride and ran down the field before being forced out at the 14-yard line, but the pass interception on first down will seal this Pacelli win. Pfluger up under center. He will take a knee, and that should wrap things up. The Dons probably will not stop the clock. The clock is moving, and the Pacelli Cardinals come to Marshfield tonight and defeat the Columbus Dons, and the Pacelli fans, their students, rush onto this turf here at Beell Stadium to salute their Cardinal football team, which breaks the long Columbus win streak tonight and ensures a tie for first place in the CWCC between Columbus, Pacelli, and Aquinas. Our final score tonight, Pacelli 13 and Columbus 7. We'll have a full review on our post-game show coming up next.
At Marshfield Insurance, their customers are number one. That's why no matter what your insurance needs, personal or commercial, you'll always receive outstanding professional service, as well as the best insurance value at a fair price. With companies like Heritage, Allstate, and Cincinnati to work with, the insurance professionals at Marshfield Insurance can help find the right protection for your needs. Stop in or call Tom, John, or Roger at Marshfield Insurance, South Central Avenue in Marshfield.
Columbus Dons football.
Columbus Dons football on WDLB is brought to us by Marshfield Insurance Agency, B&H Automotive Group, St. Clair Page Menswear, the House of Heating, Mid-State Technical College, M&I Central Bank and Trust, Little Caesars Pizza, and Weiler Fuels and Brand Oil. It's Columbus Dons football on AM 1450.
WDLB.
Wisconsin sports leader, 1450. WDLB Marshfield.
Tonight's Columbus Dons post-game show is brought to us by Total Electric Service, Marshfield Medical Center Credit Union, Perry Carrington Engineering Corporation, Weber's Farm Store, Shaw's Wrecking Yard, New York Life Agent Bill Hiding, and Doyne Excavating. Well, a lot of happy folks at Beell Stadium tonight. Unfortunately, most of them are on the far side of the field as the Pacelli Cardinals have won this ball game this evening, defeating Columbus 13-7, ending the Dons' 27-game conference win streak and forcing a three-way tie for the conference championship between Columbus, Pacelli, and Aquinas. A bittersweet evening for the Columbus Dons this evening, who see themselves taste defeat in a CWCC football game for the first time in the 1990s. Pacelli, our winner this evening, defeating Columbus by a final score of 13-7. During our post-game report, we will have an update on the scoring and stats in this ball game, but right now, let's pause for this message.
Members of the WDLB Sportscasters Club include H&S Manufacturing of Marshfield, manufacturers of forge boxes, spreaders, bale racks, green feeders, cattle trailers, hay tedders, and rakes. Rely on the people who have been helping farmers throughout Wisconsin for years. H&S Manufacturing of Marshfield. By River Edge Golf Course and Supper Club, a challenging 18 holes of golf along the Yellow River. River Edge also offers fine dining 5 nights a week with nightly specials and a full banquet facility. Plus, they're open to the public. River Edge Golf Course and Supper Club, County Highway B, west of Marshfield. And Bob Nicolay Construction, offering complete excavating and trucking, grading, bulldozing, and snow removal. Also your source for sand, gravel, black dirt, and landscaping. Commercial and industrial building and remodeling, too, from Bob Nicolay Construction.
Pacelli played great football in this ball game this evening. They were the dominant team really from start to finish. In fact, right from the opening kickoff, the Cardinals got the kickoff to begin play this evening and went right down the field. They went 82 yards in 11 plays and scored the first touchdown of the night on a 33-yard pass from Jesse Pfluger to Troy DeBruin. It was a real tough break for the Dons defense because they had Pacelli in a 3rd and 18 situation at the time, and DeBruin was wide open in the Columbus end zone to make that catch and score. Todd Farnsworth kicked the extra point, and Pacelli led 7-0 with 6:32 remaining in the first period. The Cardinals then scored again late in the second period. They capped an 8-play, 56-yard scoring drive by Kevin Sullivan's 3-yard touchdown run to give them a 13-0 lead. The Cardinals could not convert the PAT, but they led 13-0 with 2:40 remaining before halftime, and that lead, that score, stood up until very late in the ball game. The Dons had the football early in the fourth quarter, deep in Pacelli territory, but a pass interception gave the Cardinals the football on their own 9-yard line. Pacelli then proceeded to march down the field to the Columbus 17, where they were finally stopped on downs, and then the Dons had to turn around and go the other way, and they did just that. They scored their own 3-yard drive, which was capped by Mike Scheuer's 2-yard touchdown run. Wing right formation for the Dons on 3rd and goal, and Scheuer coming near side on the keeper, gets hit, keeps his legs turning, and gets in the end zone for the touchdown. Mike Scheuer's 2-yard touchdown run made the score 13-6. Scott Cook then kicked the extra point, and Pacelli led 13-7, but that score came with only 19 seconds remaining in regulation. Everyone in the ballpark knew the Dons would then try an onside kick, but no one knew how successful it would work. The Dons kicked the ball towards the near sideline, and a high bounce fell right into the arms of Darryl Conradi, who took the ball in full stride just inside the 50-yard line and ran down the near sideline until he was knocked out of bounds at the Pacelli 14. This game with 15 seconds remaining in regulation, and it appeared that the Dons had a great chance to snatch victory from the jaws of certain defeat. However, on first down from the 14, Mike Scheuer threw a pass into the end zone, which was intercepted by Kevin Sullivan of Pacelli. It looked from here like Mike was almost trying to throw the ball away out of the end zone, but instead Sullivan on the back line made the pass interception with 9 seconds to play, and that gave possession to Pacelli. The Cardinals ran one more play to stall out the clock, and that preserved their victory. Pacelli, the winner tonight, defeating Columbus by a score of 13-7. We'll come back in just a moment and recap the final stats in this ball game with Ed Sheehan. But right now, let's pause for this message.
Members of the WDLB Sportscasters Club include Marshfield Bus Service, providing safe and efficient bus service to the Marshfield School District, and Marshfield Bus Tours, coach service, licensed interstate charter service, and multi-purpose vehicles, including modern minibus and shuttle bus service, are also available. Phone 387-0101. The Baltus Oil Company of Marshfield. Take your vehicle to the Baltus Express Lube and American Car Care Center. They use quality Unical products and can do a complete oil change in 10 minutes with no appointment necessary. That's the Baltus Express Lube and American Car Care Center across from the post office in Marshfield. And the Marshfield Professional Police Association, working with the youth and supporting all youth sports and activities in the area. They recognize and understand that today's youth are tomorrow's leaders.
Well, a superb job by the Pacelli High School football team this evening, defeating the Columbus Dons 13-7 and handing the Dons their first conference loss since the 1989 football season. The Cardinals were certainly the dominant team out here this evening. To get an idea of how dominant they were, let's now go to Ed Sheehan for his final report on the team stats. Ed?
Thank you, Gene. Well, first of all, second half, Columbus turned the stats around a little bit. They ran 28 plays and gained 143 yards in the second half to Pacelli's 20 plays for 61 yards. However, that one drive that Pacelli put together, and they had the ball for 7 minutes and 50 seconds as they ran off about 15 plays. They did not score, but that really took the time off the clock and left the Dons with not enough time to come back. For the Pacelli Cardinals for the game, they had 39 rushes for 155 yards. They were 3 of 6 passing for 56 yards, 45 offensive plays for 211 yards, and 15 first downs. For the Dons, they rushed the ball 31 times for 143 yards. They were 9 of 19 passing for 88 yards, 50 offensive plays for 231 yards. So the Dons actually outgained Pacelli for the game by 20 yards. Individually for Pacelli, Jesse Pfluger, 2 carries for 99 yards. Kevin Sullivan for 40 yards. Nick Frolowski, 4 carries for 9 yards. Passing, Jesse Pfluger, 3 of 6 with 1 intercepted for 56 yards. The receptions going to Troy DeBruin for 33 yards, Adam Mrozek for 7, and Jeff Lila for 16 yards. Pacelli was penalized just once in the game for 15 yards. For the Marshfield Columbus Dons, they were led in rushing by their quarterback, Mike Scheuer, 18 rushes for 95 yards. Aaron Rasmussen, 1 rush for 6 yards. Ryan Beck, 6 carries for 21 yards. Scott Cook, 6 carries for 21 yards. Passing, Mike Scheuer, 9 for 19 with 2 intercepted for 88 yards. With the receptions going to 2 by Brian McCormick for 25 yards, 1 by Scott Cook for 6 yards, 3 by Ryan Beck for 25 yards, 3 for Aaron Rasmussen for 32 yards. Downs were penalized 5 times in the game for 55 yards, and 4 of those penalties resulted in first downs for the Pacelli Cardinals.
Yeah, that was another point you bring up there, Ed, a good point, that the Dons gave the Cardinals several first downs on that final Pacelli drive, which in effect killed the clock for Columbus. They had a third down situation through an incomplete pass. There was a pass interference call. There was a late hit. There was an offside call. And all that led to that long drive in the fourth quarter on which Pacelli did not score, but they took a lot of time off the clock to preserve their win.
Well, they got the ball with 10 seconds gone in the fourth quarter, and they held it until there were only 4 minutes left. Yeah. So that really left Columbus with not enough time, although they came closer than we thought they would on the strength of that onside kick that was recovered by Conradi.
Well, let's, while we have a moment here, just reflect on what we've seen from the Columbus football team these past several years. A 27-game win streak in the conference, which more than doubles the previous record, which was held by Aquinas. Twice in past years, Aquinas won 12 consecutive conference games. The Dons more than doubled that with 27 consecutive wins in the conference. Certainly an outstanding feat. They have now won or shared 5 consecutive conference championships. No other team in the CWCC has ever won or shared more than 3 straight conference titles. In fact, Assumption is the only school which ever won 3 outright championships before Columbus won their 4 straight. Assumption won 3 straight in 59, 60, and 61 by themselves, and then Columbus winning the outright championships in 90, 91, 92, and 93, and now sharing the conference title with Pacelli and Aquinas in 1994. So as you look back these last 5 seasons, the Columbus Dons certainly have a lot to be proud of, and they can still accomplish a lot more because they have postseason play coming up, and you can bet the Dons will be a big factor in the WSA playoffs, which start next weekend. We're going to tell you more about the playoff situation and have a final look at this ball game right after this message.
Members of the WDLB Sportscasters Club include Marshfield Bus Service, providing safe and efficient bus service to the Marshfield School District, and Marshfield Bus Tours, coach service, licensed interstate charter service, and multi-purpose vehicles, including modern minibus and shuttle bus service, are also available. Phone 387-0101. The Baltus Oil Company of Marshfield. Take your vehicle to the Baltus Express.
From tonight, the Columbus Dons will be in Division 3. There is no way they can be anything else but Division 3 because Columbus, in terms of boys enrollment in the state, is the 4th smallest WSA school playing football in the state of Wisconsin. We have no idea what the pairings will be or what the other Division 3 schools will be. Some of the possibilities for Division 3, Beloit Catholic, Regis, Onalaska Luther, Newman, Fond du Lac, Winnebago Lutheran, Watertown, Northwestern Prep, and Pacelli. Those right now are the 8 smallest schools in WSA which have winning records or 500 records for the year. Some of those schools may not make the playoffs. Maybe 1 or 2 that I did not list would get in there instead. It's really hard to say, but there's a good chance that the Dons' first-round opponent on Friday night, a week from this evening, will come from a school in that group. So there's a good possibility that the Pacelli Cardinals will be in Division 3 this year with the Columbus Dons, and so the Dons and Pacelli could meet once again sometime down the road in postseason play. Sometime on Sunday, The official announcement on playoff teams and pairings will be announced by the WISAA, and as soon as we get that information, we will pass it along to you Sunday afternoon and, of course, on our sports reports on Monday morning. So keep that in mind. The WSA playoffs beginning a week from tonight, and we will be wherever the Columbus Dons are next Friday evening for that playoff contest.
Public schools are off till Tuesday night. The private schools will match up. Will take us to Marshfield, that is tonight. Twice beaten Stevens Point Pacelli squaring off once beaten Marshfield Columbus. A CWTC finale. Cardinals take a 2-touchdown lead. Third quarter, Kevin Sullivan goes 4 yards off the pitch from Jesse Pfluger. On the Dons sideline, Walt Kroll and QB Mike Scheuer discussed their plan of action. Columbus had trouble getting it going against the Cards tonight, but this quick hitter over the middle seems to work. Scheuer to Aaron Rasmussen, who breaks tackles and heads down the far sideline for a long gainer deep into Pacelli territory. To the other side for the start of the fourth quarter. Scheuer goes airborne again. This time the visitors are ready. Nick Brolowski tips it. Ken Krzyzewski picks it. Dons get a late touchdown to make it close, but Pacelli earns a share of the CWCC title this year. Final tonight, 13-7. Pacelli over Columbus. That's Columbus's second loss of the season. Columbus rated third among the private.
Ball game. They are down at the 15-yard line. Coach, watch it. Get off the field. You're going to be penalized half the distance. Get off the field. Pacelli wants a timeout. And that ball, Don is saying, Bob is saying it didn't go 10 yards. It went 10 yards, but it went 4 or 5 yards. That was clearly a good play by Marshfield Columbus. Hey, you couldn't ask for a better kick on that particular thing. And, boy, now we are back to a situation, it's like writing a book. Pacelli has just used their second timeout. We've got 15 seconds left in the ball game, and what a crushing blow this would be, because all they had to do was to take the onside catch and, pitch it. And they didn't, and who did that guy go down the sideline? I thought he might go all the way, to be honest with you. I don't know what Bob can be complaining about, because the ball clearly was taken at about the 46 or 45-yard line in Pacelli territory. The kick from the 40. And I really don't understand where the complaint would come from that way. I mean, it does not have to be touched by the receiving team. It's just a live ball. I'll tell you, Bob, you made your point now. So help me God, get off the field, because you don't want to get a half the distance to the goal line penalty. You got to get yourself off the field right now. Well, he can't hear it. So, Columbus has it at the 13-yard line on the onside kick. Oh, my goodness. What an end. Scheuer goes back to throw. He looks toward the end zone. Intercepted. Kevin Sullivan intercepts it. And that should end this one with 9 seconds to go. Oh, man, I tell you. Oh, well, never had quite enough time to say, just about anything could happen, and that makes high school ball fun. And we just had more action in the last half minute than we probably saw all last night from the Metrodome. Well, I got to tell you something, and I'm very sincere about this. First of all, I'm glad to be back in the booth after a couple of weeks. But this is no way for an old man to come back into the booth. Because I'll tell you, folks, this has been, well, it still is, a great high school football game. But Pacelli has just taken their third and final timeout, and I guess they want to get together as to exactly what they want to do. Here's what you have to do, Pacelli. You take the ball, and you get down to one knee right after the snap. Columbus is going to take a timeout. Coach should start doing a lot of chirping yet. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't understand all of it. I mean, if they think that onside kick didn't go 10 yards, they're going to feel pretty silly when they see the films tomorrow. Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about that. Because it was way longer than 10 yards. I don't know what else, unless they thought there was an offside on the kicking team or something like that. I think you were right there. And I think right now what they were trying to find out is, how many timeouts does Columbus have left? And, I would agree with you there. They could have asked us, Scott. We know they've only got one. Well, yeah. I mean, you keep track of that for us. So that we all can guarantee. Ooh, wow, what a thriller. but we're having a good time. Stevens Point Pacelli will drop to a knee. And we hear the whistles, and that's going to do it. Pacelli should have just won this football game. It was really a hard-fought game. Wow. What a crazy end to this one. Look at that student body. Yeah, the student body's all over the place out here.
I'll tell you, what a thrill to see something like this, because these kids came out of nowhere, Scott.
Stevens Point Pacelli wins tonight's football game. 13-7. We'll be back in just a little bit. Yeah, we're still here, but oh my, what a thrilling end to this football game.
I'll tell you, Scott, you got a 13-0 lead. I'm talking about Pacelli, and all of a sudden, in all fairness, Columbus comes back. You know they were going to. They make the touchdown. They make the extra point. Now it's 13-7. Everybody in the park, I mean, everybody knows the onside kick is coming. Columbus did it to perfection. Not only did they recover, but they advanced that thing, and I think you called it right. I thought the kid was going to go all the way to score. As it was, he was stopped. And then you get the big discussions going on, and oof, what an ending. Then they get the ball, and you have an interception in the end zone. So I tell you, folks, you have to be here to really enjoy this one.
I guess. The Buyer's Guide is Portage County's #1 shopping source. Don't miss out on all the great buys delivered to your home free every Tuesday. The Stevens Point Buyer's Guide, your marketplace connection. You know, the one thing that I actually kind of disappointed in myself for now is don't know who made the tackle that saves the touchdown on the kid who picked up the football.
Yeah, I didn't catch that at all.
And somebody made a game-saving tackle.
He's looking in the rule book. You're going to be wrong. The kick went far enough.
No doubt about that. But at any rate, hey,
is that what you're looking at?
199 yards offensively for Point, 254 for Columbus, but the scoreboard shows Stevens Point Pacelli the winner, 13-7 here tonight. And the Cardinals will go to the playoffs. The Dons will go to the playoffs, and those will start next week. And of course, we'll broadcast those Pacelli playoff games, so we look forward to it.
I think one thing is going to happen as a result of this ball game, and I think in the pregame, I think it was Tom had the interview, or Gary, or
Gary did.
Gary had the interview, and Coach Rochick made a very good point, and I think his dream is going to come true. He's a couple of dreams. Number one, boy, who ever thought they'd share the conference title? They have a good ball club, but you know, you go back a couple of weeks ago, and there's no way they're going to share the title, but now they do. The second thing that happened tonight, you bet, Coach Rochick, I think you're going to get your wish. You're going to get a pretty good seed in the playoffs, because now you are a champion. You've only got one loss in your conference. It's just a great way to end the season.
Yeah, and you beat one of the highest ranked
teams in the state. Yeah.
Hey, good showing by Pacelli. Good showing by the Cardinals. We'll be back and give you a final rundown here tonight. We'll do it in 1 minute. Yeah. Let's run down the two Cardinals touchdowns. The Cardinals scored their first touchdown in quarter number 1, when with 6 minutes 32 seconds to go. It was a long touchdown pass from Jesse Pflugar to Troy DeBruin. Ruda starts in motion to the left side. Pflugar back to pass. Here comes the pressure. Steps up into the pocket. Throws it toward the end zone. Touchdown, Cardinals! Stevens Point Pacelli gets the score with Troy DeBruin. That was a 33-yard pass from Pflugar to DeBruin. 82-yard, 11-play drive, and the PAT good. It was 7-0. The Cardinals made it 13-0 in the second quarter, when with 2 minutes 40 seconds to go before halftime, capping off a 55-yard, 8-play drive, it was Mr. Excitement, Kevin Sullivan. Third down goal from the 3-yard line. Pacelli with Jesse Pflugar, ready to go. Pitch out. This is Sullivan from the right side, turns it upfield. Touchdown! Kevin Sullivan took the pitch out, and he's in to score. And that was it for Pacelli scoring tonight. The point after was not good. It was 13-0. In fact, it stayed 13-0 all the way until 19 seconds to go in the game. And then the touchdown run by Mike Scheuer of 2 yards. You figured onside kick was coming. That's what happened. And what happens after that? Well, Columbus picks up the onside kick, takes it all the way down to the 13-yard line of Pacelli. As they recover the kick in mid-bounce, it came right up into the hands of Darrell Conradi. He took it down to the 13, and then on the next play, with 9 seconds to go, Scheuer throws an interception in the end zone, and Pacelli saves the day there and comes out of here a 13-7 winner.